Welcome to Stratford Festival. We are going to have a quick round near here, the City Hall. My wife and my daughter has already been dropped off. And as usual, I'll be the last one to get off because I have to find parking and whatnot. So it's our very first time to be here and very quiet and very clean town, it seems. And everybody knows Stratford for the Stratford Festival, I guess. All the theaters and the plays. I know a person who directs a play here, who's a Filipino director at CPC, Romeo Candido. I didn't reach out to him to see if his play still happening here. Uh, wow, my wife and daughter walks pretty fast, and I thought I saw them going this way. So that's the front of the city hall of Stratford right there. Looks like, what do you guys think? Gothic Renaissance. The curved arches tells you it's probably Gothic revival because the Victorians are usually pointed arches, right? But this one are curved arches. So that is the Stratford Transit bus. Looks pretty old, but this is Stratford is about 2 hours away from Toronto if you're just taking your time and driving towards here. I don't know where my wife and daughter went. I parked for an hour and a half, and so let's see. Oh, I think I see them already further up there. Ah, Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory. I see it up ahead. You guys can see that? Let's just quickly check. We are here right now, and that's I think the city hall is right there. Okay, we are here. So okay, and there's a directory map over there. That's Ontario Street, which is the the main highway coming in from 401, or not 401. I think Highway 7, Ontario Street. This one goes to London. This one goes to Goderich. And okay, so we'll walk around and see what we have here. Many towns have this Rocky Mountain kind of ice cream. Chocolate factory is probably most likely ice cream, and I don't know. That's interesting though, for sugar addicts like yours truly, are recovering sugar addict. Anyways, is that the early forms of Dubai chocolate right there? Wonder if we can come in with a live. Hi. Got ice creams here. More ice cream. Okay, let's. I need to catch up to my wife and daughter. I saw them coming through this way. Okay, I see them across the street now. Fresh burritos, Festival Square, the usual, cookie cutter stuff in many small towns. You see all of those, except as a localist kind of guy, I'm always about supporting localism versus internationalism or globalism. That's where I stand when it comes to small and medium-sized businesses. You know, if I am, if I get this channel really thriving with your support, folks, if you help me really make this channel grow, then one of the things that I want to dedicate this channel to is to promote local businesses in small towns, because I'm a localist. I am all about supporting local businesses, mom and pop shops, independents. Okay, let's see. Maybe we can stand behind this sign here to stay safe and see that I was gonna go see that heritage building here. I can see the heritage building right there, and but we are now allowed to cross the street here. So that looks interesting to me, something like that. Pazzo Pizzeria, a local pizzeria here, and I saw my wife and daughter walk into this area. So what do we have here? We got some kind of monument. Queen's Jubilee, June 22, 1897. Some monument for Jubilee for the Queen. Okay, so that's interesting. Looks like a bird's drinking fountain, but that is interesting. That looks like, I'm pretty sure that's not gold plated, bronze plated, or what not. But if it's not actually bronze, then it will most likely fade away really quick. The Freeland Memorial Fountain, that's what that thing is called. And there's a lot of information here, which we can always go online and check it out. But this is their little monument here that tells you a little bit more about the town. The Perth Regiment has established this little monument here. The Perth Regiment. We'll take a screenshot of that when we, because doing a screenshot while live also includes all the other on screen here. The Perth Regiment, 1866 to 1964. So a regiment in the armed forces, World War One. The Perth Regiment battle honors for World War One and World War Two. So there are two Ipers Fest. There's two names there for World War One and World War Two. I would imagine these are names of honorable regiment members, right? Okay, where did my wife and daughter go? Quickly, they're gone very quickly. Where did they head at? No. Where did they go? Okay, so we get all of these nice flowers here. Did they go down that way? Oh yes, yeah, likely they did. So there's there's a river here. Is that a river or a creek? It's probably a creek, but I love rivers. This one is pretty cool looking, very peaceful. I can see some kayakers, canoers on the water, and there's a lot of information here. We're just gonna voice over some of this info later on when we do our research. Stratford, the saving of Stratford Parks. Okay, this is not easy to read for the shot, and I just love rivers. And let's see, there's a World War One and World War Two monument here, and it's not easy to take screenshots when live. That wreath looks pretty fresh. These are the World War One honorees and World War Two honorees, and the monument looks like it has been established here in 1914 and 1919. Hey sweetie, are you okay there? Okay, you got a canyon here, a cannon, and we got some beautiful, there's white swan down here, love. White swans. Okay. Second Battle of Ypres, Festubert. It's very hard to read. from. Okay, my wife has my daughter as her photographer for her post, but it's really, I love rivers, and so I don't know if this is a river or just a creek or. But we got some white swans here by the water edge here. I always love seeing these white swans, especially when they come to Lake Ontario, downtown Toronto. They make the entire scenery looks more. Oh, there's one in the middle of the water right there too, and there's a canoe, a lone canoe, in the middle of the river bend here, or the river, or I don't know, creek here, and yeah, so probably flowing. This river flows down to Ontario Lake, now also known as the Lake of America. Just Donald Trump decided that it's now going to be called Lake of America. This one is about to come to shore. I always love this kind of sceneries, folks. Peace, tranquility, and I love rivers. My wife loves waterfalls. I love rivers, especially peaceful rivers like this. There's a white, what is that? Maybe a duck over there, or okay. So this white swan is just about to come to shore now to join the other white swan here on shore. Slowly swimming over, coming over very, very peacefully. I love this. Shout out to Jalina. We don't always get a lot of live viewers here on. We get like sometimes when we sign on TikTok, immediately we get like 900 viewers. That's because I think there's still some remaining shadow ban from the COVID years when we used this particular YouTube channel for free speech, which, big tech companies don't like free speech at all. You cannot express your thoughts, your honest opinion on these platforms because they will shadow ban you, and that's what exactly happened here. But the shorts clips that we cut from the live shots, it gets some traction here on YouTube. That's because I have to the algorithmic. I have to comply to the algorithmic demands of the platform when it comes to shorts, and you don't you don't really violate your personal free speech when it comes to shorts because it's too short for them, for any algorithm, I guess, and for any bot to kind of decipher what's the message really that you're trying to convey in your shorts, right? So, well, thank you for joining me. I've been trying to, as much as possible, split the time between TikTok and YouTube. We get very big traction when we go on TikTok, when we go live on TikTok every time. But on YouTube here, if we, I think, I'm assuming that if we go regular, Mommy, why you left Celine over there? What's she doing? If we consistently go live on this platform, eventually it will kick in and be sweetie, have you seen the white swans? Look at me, love. Why you why don't you why don't you appreciate nature when you're out in nature and stop with the phone?
Just always taking photos around, and I don't.
So stick with me. We walk around. You're not gonna be in the camera. It's facing that way.
Still, I don't. I just want to sit down.
Huh?
I just want to sit down.
Okay. But don't stare. Stare at. Keep your eyes in the nature. Not that. Yeah, I'm trying to get my daughter to lessen her screen time for her eyes. Get her eyes to rest. because I think that's really not good for her eyes. We got a bunch of lone birds sitting on the river. I need to find out what river this is. There's a canoer over there, I think, and then there's an empty canoe right there. Nobody using it. Let me just walk right beside this river. Maybe there's a plaque over there we can read up on. Oh, there's a pelican. I think that's what it's called, right? Is that a pelican? Anybody on the comment section, whether you're tuning in live right now or when you see this on post, I'll cut a short clip of this. Can anybody tell me, is that a pelican? What do you call that? That bird. Jelena, 12 noon. Hi to you. It says, do they bite? No, I don't think. Well, the swans can attack you if you are, I guess, if you are harassing them. But Jelena, do you know what kind of bird is this? I see this kind of bird from time to time. The last time I saw this was at the brickworks by the brickworks there. I want to take a screenshot of this bird. It's nice to see different kind of wildlife by the rivers here. I see it too a lot. Okay. All right. Thanks for Jelena. Thanks for responding there. Yeah, I've seen this the second time now. And I see my daughter still sitting there on the bench. And my wife is just getting her to get off the phone whenever she needs her photos. I normally stay away from them because both of them don't want to be on my live shot. So when we're out and I'm doing live vlogs like this, I keep my distance so that they don't get in the shot. They don't want to be in the shot. But this is a beautiful bird, but I see my family about to leave me now. So anybody on the post after this live shot, if you can tell me what kind of bird this is, it's a beautiful bird in my opinion. Oh wow, he just caught something from under the water. You guys saw that? That's awesome. But that's a beautiful bird. I really think that's a beautiful bird. That's the second time I saw this bird, but this one is up close. The other time I saw this bird, it was flying, landing on the water in quite a distance, maybe like, oh, there you go, she flew off. I hope I didn't disturb her. There you go, she flew off. I'm gonna go catch up to my family now. But I love this river. It says here, please do not feed the wildfowls. But I hope somebody would tell me what kind of, what's the name of this river? Or creek. Whatever is the name. Madam, do you know what's the name of the river? Is this a river? Avon Rivers. Thank you so much. Thank you. Avon River in Stratford. There you go. AVON. Okay. So I'm going to catch up to my family. I paid for an hour parking. And I really love parks like this where people can sit on benches and play some chess over there. There's like a chess board built in. And people using pebbles. Yeah, I love this kind of atmosphere. It's a little gloomy today. It's not very sunny. I think it's about to rain or it rained earlier before we arrived here. Either of the two. And yeah, we just very first time to come here at Stratford, town of Stratford. It seems to be a very developed town, small town, compared to the other two towns we visited earlier this week. We were in Cobourg and we were in Port Hope and other towns in between. I was asking my wife if they want to go to Aurora and Williams, Willem something, right beside Aurora. She didn't like that option. She wants to go here, Stratford, and Goderich. So after here, we'll be going to Goderich. I'll probably be using TikTok at Goderich later on. So please join me. And we have a brand new page on Facebook, but we have an established page called the It's Just Another Ordinary Joe Show on Facebook that we can get on live there. But it's always finding what do you call that game? Finding somebody game. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego kind of game. Every time my wife and daughter just go ahead and do their thing and just leave me behind. And again, I can't really come too close to them because they don't want to be in the. My wife, not so hesitant, but somewhat hesitant, but not as hesitant as my daughter. She's like, never ever put me in any of your live shots. So that's why I don't walk right beside them. Okay, these are just some ceramic store, I guess. But most likely, usually it's to find my daughter and my wife. Usually I'll find them in an ice cream shop. But we saw we saw the ice cream already. We passed an ice cream shop already. They didn't stop for it. So I don't know where they are now. But you guys are giving me company, and we are here. Patio season is full bloom in Stratford. I'm big on arts. I love arts. I love theater, but I haven't seen, to be very honest, I haven't seen a local theater play yet. Like something that is created homegrown or native to Stratford. And I think what happens here in Stratford is this is only an assumption. I'm not sure if I'm saying the correct concept here, but I think the concept is a lot of homegrown or locally written plays are tested here at Stratford, like independent writers, independent producers of theater plays. This is like their prototype testing area, and if it goes well here in Stratford, then they will try to franchise it so that it could be a touring kind of play. Then, if it's tested and it does well in Stratford, then they will do a local cross Canada tour, and then if that turns out to be successful, then they will go on a cross continent tour. So now we know the difference between Victorian and Gothic. This is Victorian because of the pointed arch right there. And this building is the Knox Presbyterian Church that was established in 1873. And it's a Gothic Renaissance type architecture. Oh, we gotta cross the street. There's a Balzac's here, which is a Canadian brand, I believe. Dark Horse Coffee is also another Canadian brand, Second Cup. And I support those smaller brands versus Tim Hortons, because Tim Hortons is not even Canadian anymore. And it doesn't hold Canadian standards for Canadian or honor Canadian culture, Canadian identity in their branding anymore. So to be honest, I'm not. If I don't have a choice and I'm a caffeine addict, I don't have a choice and there's only Tim Hortons available, I'm forced to get a small cup of Tim Hortons or a big cup. A big cup depends on what I need. But if I have a choice, sometimes I even prefer Starbucks and McDonald's cafe over Tim Hortons, just simply because Tim Hortons has become a negative force to Canadian branding. That's the Presbyterian Church across the street. What that we did a zoom in to their coat of arms, or maybe that's not coat of arms, but a seal. I'm just gonna stop here, folks, and tie my shoes so I'll face you towards me. I got no script to talk about, to be honest. But I need to sit here and tie my shoes. So while I'm doing that, I really think that small towns all over Canada. Well, I live in Ontario, so I'm going to support all the small towns in Ontario. Stratford is probably not the same as small towns, small towns. It's well developed. It's probably about the same size as Hamilton or smaller than Mississauga. Mississauga is not a small town anymore. But I would ballpark Stratford is probably like a Hamilton size, a kind of Brampton kind of size of town. And you see the usual uh, cookie cutter template.
Hi.
Hello. Cookie cutter template brands that you see in small towns, like the corporation, like the Tim Hortons and McDonald's. I'm not, like I said, if I don't have a choice, I will go and get those. But if there's a choice for me to go local, that's what I'm gonna get for my coffee, my caffeine. Local and independent usually is always more expensive. I gotta put this thing down because I tied my other shoelace, but not this one. Okay, so I'll put you like that. Well, I fix my laces here. Oh, so I'm talking about. Yeah, usually when you get your merchandise or your product from, I hope you can hear me. I know I don't have a microphone. I'm sorry, folks. But it's always a little bit more expensive when you go independent, understandably, because it's the economies of scale. The bigger the chain brand is, the corporate chain brand, they are able to buy the raw materials in bulk. Whatever chain brand. We're talking about food vendors, non-food merchants, whatever it is. They're always going to be able to bring the prices lower than independents because they have their own warehouses and bulk supply, and they can sometimes they would have their own maybe farms. I think McDonald's have contracted a lot of local farmers for the supply of their beef and the chicken from chicken nuggets. So they buy the entire harvest of whatever farm raw material products that they require to supply their inventory. So it's always going to be cheaper per item in any corporate chain brands, but it will be always be higher quality. I think that's my wife and my brother across the street. Let me check. No, they're not them. Yeah, so it's always going to be higher quality for sure if you are buying from local, and also it's more. It has a direct impact on the business owners. Like you have some impact on the shareholders of corporations, and some of those are families. Yes, they have a little bit of impact to their, but entrepreneurs, shop owners, cafe owners, independent business owners, when you support your local mom and pop shops, it really gives a direct impact on the bottom line, profitability, and business value towards business. When you buy local, doesn't matter if it's just a cup of coffee. If you support local, it'll be 50 cents more. It'll be 60 cents more. You know, it'll be a few cents more, but it will always be a direct impact on the value of the business, of that family-owned business. It's always going to be helping localities, and overall, it's just better for humanity to support family-owned businesses. Doesn't matter what country, doesn't matter what town we're talking about. Supporting local businesses is one of the passion that I passionately support. And so if you guys support me with this channel, when this channel grows, that is one of the main features that I'm going to always be adding to this a what like a part of the staple feature, a permanent feature in every single town visit, in every single, this is the Perth County Courthouse, in every town visit, every small town that we feature, we're going to pre-arrange a visit to a family-owned business to feature them. Right now, I don't have the capacity to do all of that because right now, at the present time, I only kind of multitask. This is my wife's vacation, and wherever she wants to go, I cannot plan ahead of time. Whatever's the whim of her, whatever she wants to see is where I take her. She asked me to go here this morning. She woke me up and she says, "We're going to Stratford." And I go, "All right, madam." "Yes, boss, let's go to Stratford." So I'm not able to prearrange ahead of time because I'm at the mercy of my wife's schedule because she works as a full-time nurse and she doesn't know when is she going to be granted a request for vacation. You know, yes, there's a planning ahead, but there's always last minute things. All right, so I'm going to head back to the city hall where I parked my car, and maybe both of them are there already, or maybe they went elsewhere. It's quite sleepy here today at Stratford. I'm pretty sure this is very packed during the Stratford Festival. I know once a year there's a Stratford Festival that happens here where all of the theater plays simultaneously features their show Ontario-wide or even maybe worldwide, and so that it could be visited by Canadians all over the country, and possibly this is also being marketed to America, most likely, right? Because when the exchange rate is a big disparity between American dollar and Canadian dollar, it attracts many Americans to come here and spend their hard-earned US dollars in Canada because they get things cheaper, right? See, there you go. Mental illness is everywhere, even in small towns. You know, we get a lot of people just acting out. Okay, so that's the city hall right there, as you can see. And this was I'll take a quick peek inside this ice cream shop because usually that's where I find my wife and daughter. We are all sugar addicts. I'm a recovering sugar addict. It's very hard to get my wife and my daughter to slow down with their sugar addiction. I don't see them in there right now, but there's more than one ice cream shop in in downtown Stratford, and
Yeah, I mean,
it's very difficult when you're sort of like alone in your quest to.
ang ganda kaya.
Let me do a screenshot of that one. I know there's a lot of noise on screen, but when I download this live feed into a local file, I'll be able to screenshot it again, a better quality. But so I'm just gonna head back to the car and check if they're there. When I get there, I'm just gonna sign off and say thank you to all, especially Jalina, who joined me on this live session. Jalina, please join me on TikTok too. You know, I get hundreds of live viewers there very quickly when I sign on TikTok because I'm relatively brand new on TikTok. I haven't been on TikTok for years. It's just I think I started around June this year, and yeah, I don't have a lot of bad reputation there. I didn't use that channel for free speech expression. Unlike YouTube, YouTube didn't like my free speech during the lockdowns, and they shadow banned me heavily. Okay, so I see my car there. My family's not here, but I'm gonna be signing out soon. Jelena and all our YouTube viewers, please, when you see this on post, please subscribe and follow and ring that bell so that you will be notified every time I go live and every time I post shorts and full-length video. I'm your host, Ordinary Joe. Thank you for joining me. It's just another Ordinary Joe show. I'll see you again soon. Reporting live here at the Stratford Stratford Town, Ontario. Bye for now.